Alright, here we go, round 8. By far the hardest round in the entire 9-round series. If you pass this, you'll pretty much get the trophy, never give up. So I'm just going to walk you through basically what I'm going to upgrade here. It's very important that you do these things. If you bought the grenade in the previous rounds, upgrade the blast radius to the second highest and max out your inventory. It's very important that you have a lot of distractions as there's lots of zombies. I've fully upgraded my shocker on the maximum inventory and the range, and I leave power and the clip size back one. For the flare, I maximize the duration. Again, you're going to be going down the guns and supplies route, so it's not necessary to buy up ammo, waste money on ammo if you don't need to. But buy up your auto turrets, make sure you have full 4for4, buy up your grenades. I didn't end up buying up flares, and I actually decided, you know what, I'll play it a little bit safe. I'll buy an extra clip of SMG ammo. I just don't want to take too many risks. But I have $4,000. I could have easily just maximized my inventory. But, I mean, do whatever you think is safe. Don't get cocky or anything like that. You should have around either $25,000, $35,000 at the end of this round. So you'll be going into round 9 with maxed out inventories on SMG and shocker and equipment and all that stuff without any problems, most likely. So the key to this round is to just take it slow. Don't get swarmed. Don't be afraid to use your inventories. And I would recommend you go down the guns route. It kind of sucks because supplies are more important this time around since you're going to be using more flares and grenades and turrets. So you have to really try to manage what you're doing here. Again, as soon as you hear that helicopter sound with the slasher being dropped down, just drop a turret, drop a flare, distract the zombies, and focus on the slasher guy. It's really, really key. I've said this in pretty much every other video where a slasher has dropped. You got to make sure you take out those slashers. They are insanely powerful, insanely fast, and they don't get distracted by grenades or flares or alarms or anything like that. So always focus on them first. And again, use the environment to your advantage. I outlined a couple of tips and tricks. For example, if a car doesn't have an alarm, throw a flare at the car, then blow up the car, and the car will act as kind of like an alarm car. So you can use those tricks. Again, be wary that the exploding cars may not kill the more powerful zombies like the army man and the policeman. So, you know, even though a car is going to explode, keep on shooting them because it's likely that some of them will survive the explosion, and you don't want to be surprised by that. In this opening area here, before you choose your sub route, you want to kind of conserve your ammo and stuff like that. So, I mean, generally I can get through this area with only using my rifle, so you should be able to without any problems. Again, though, you really want to avoid taking damage. That's really the key. If you have to use your supplies and your ammo for like your SMG and stuff like that, obviously just do that instead. And don't be stupid. Get out of radiuses of exploding cars and stuff like that. I don't know why I pay so much attention to getting $500 from the trunk of a car. It's not worth, you know, half your health or whatever it is that cars take out of you now at this high a round. So the same strategies as before. You know, you're going to take out all these guys throughout the fence before you go through it. Be careful not to shoot the electrical box just yet. You want to run up to that manhole up on the far gate you see me doing right here. See if enemies come out of it. No enemies come out, then you shoot the electrical box. Take out a nice number of zombies. Again, the patterns of how the zombies spawn, or you know, the direction that some of them may come from, isn't set in stone. So your rounds may not be the same as mine. You may have 3 slasher guys drop on this round. That's happened to me before and it totally sucked. So I got a little lucky there, sprinting and meleeing without taking any damage. And I just back up to where I know my turret was, and you know, have some defensive support. It's very important to manage you know, your surroundings. When I went back down in that area, you saw me having to sprint past zombies coming from both directions. You never want to be caught in a situation like that. And the DLC, I mean, the pathways are pretty narrow. It's not open spaces like the main game was, so it is very easy for you to get swarmed from both directions. You got to pay really close attention to what's going on and your surroundings. I would recommend that you kind of up the brightness, if you know, to the max if you can, because I played the level, or I played this game on how I last played it with the main game, which was kind of dark because I'm kind of a fan of this zombie game and Walking Dead and stuff like that, so I wanted to gain the full experience, even though it's not most effective for trophy hunting. So that's just something that you should note. Again, go through, take your time, make sure you collect all these supplies, all these crates. You see I have pretty much maxed out everything except for auto turrets, and I have one ready just in case I have to use it if a slasher guy gets dropped into the water area, where I've said before, if you hear a helicopter coming down, there you go, you just gotta rush into this area, because if he comes out of that pod thing and you're not down in the water area, you can take some serious damage. And I luck out right here hardcore. I should have thrown a flare, but I wasn't thinking. It's really hard to kind of manage yourself sometimes. I ended up using my health kit though, which saved my life. And now I'm kind of in a tough position. Hopefully you won't be in the same position as me. I'm pretty much sitting in the water now. I have to really get through this level without taking damage, because if I get to the end, I have to be, at least half health, or else I'm going to get screwed. So I've used up 2 turrets, and the reason you want to take the guns route is because the gate closes behind you, and when you enter the final area, you're entering it on a more secure foundation. And so there you see me use the tactic of throwing the flare at a car that doesn't have an alarm to take out a majority of enemies around there. And I mean, you can switch to your SMG here, it's not a big deal, considering that you have a gun store as soon as you clear out this section here. And there you see me do it because I was getting swarmed into a corner. Sometimes you just gotta, pull out the weapons that matter. And again, when I'm in this area, I didn't really care too much about getting stuff from cars, so I was just blowing them up. The supply cars, the cop cars in the back right hand corner, you want to maintain those because the supplies that they give you are pretty important. So I made sure I got the health pack from that vending machine in case I accidentally shot it, and it would end up not giving it to me. So make sure you do that if you need the health like I did. And if this gun shop isn't opening, there's likely enemies trapped behind this garbage thing right here, so just something to be wary of. Don't freak out. And there we go. And I ended up buying the launcher simply because it's just something I can just quickly use, and you don't have to upgrade any power or anything like that to make it more effective. Something that you got to be careful of is the more weapons you have, the harder it is to control, like switching between your weapons, and it could actually be a detriment to you. So you're just gonna see me use up all 5 rounds of this thing, just so it's not in my inventory anymore when I switch through my weapons. Because it is distracting the more weapons you have to switch through. You can't really focus on what weapon you have exactly, and the enemies on the screen, and tactics you have to kind of deploy to survive, stuff like that. So that's just me. I mean, maybe you can do it. I can't. It's kind of hard for me. So I got one more grenade from the grenade launcher left, and I'm just going to use it up right here, just so that when I get into the other areas, I'm not going to be distracted switching between stuff here. So again, they were just not paying attention there. I took some damage, which is kind of unfortunate, but yeah, it's really important to manage your health in this area. Picking up a lot of SMG ammo and a flare. So I'm not in the best position right now. I mean, try to have close to full health, or keep your med pack. If your health drops below half in this area, like anytime after you enter the gun route, I would highly recommend you use your med kit. And the ego gate is right there, right between those 2 police cars you just saw me run by, if you're looking for that. For me, it's not worth going down that pathway, simply because I don't want to get swarmed more, and I don't need the money really. So I kind of was a little anxious to use that shocker box, and I kind of got lucky right there with that guy not hitting me. And the car's going to explode and take out a lot of his health, so we're just going to take a couple more bullets to finish him off. Be wary of the policemen, that they do take quite a few bullets to take down. They are one of the more powerful zombie, as well as the army men. The army men are the strongest zombies. They take a ton of bullets to take down. Yeah, they're the green guys, and the policemen are obviously in blue uniform. Now, I do only have 2 auto turrets left, and I kind of want to keep those for the final area. So just take your time, like I said here. Listen for the sounds of those big bosses coming down, to avoid them. Some silver lining though. I mean, if they land on the other enemy zombies, he'll likely kill them with one stomp, so that's kind of good. Help you out a bit there. And I don't know why I just decided to randomly switch to my SMG. So through here, again, I'm going to try to, since these guys are all the weak zombies, I'm going to try to really manage how I shoot them. And you're going to see me pull off something sweet. So I got like 4 Fatso guys coming at me. I just trigger off the electrical box, and it takes all 4 of them out. Pretty nice, pretty nice. And now I'm going to waste a bunch of SMG ammo taking out these army guys here. So I recommend you do the same thing. Since the initial amount of guys that come through that area are a bunch of the weak, like, red zombies that can go down in pretty much just a couple bullets, you take them out, wait for some stronger guys to come through the fenced area, and then activate the second electrical box, and you can deal some heavy damage to them. Again, I'm just taking my time here, you know, back up as much as you need to. Try not to use an auto turn if you have 2 or less. You really want to keep at least 2, definitely 1 for the final area. It's really hard to get through the final area if you don't have at least 1 auto turn. And I got 4 flares and 4 grenades as well, so that's going to help me out a lot in the final area as well. I mean, technically from this point on, you don't even have to bother taking out any zombies. You could technically try to run through and just get to the other side, because the gate does close behind you, so nothing from this area will make its way into the final area. Whereas in the supply route, zombies will come over the ramp and swarm you from behind as well. So you just got to prepare, psych yourself up. I'm taking a little bit of time here, thinking about what I want to do. Enter this area with a shocker. I'm going to drop a turret right there. And activate the car. Switch to my SMG. And focus on this guy right here. I'm going to throw, I think, another flare in a second. Yeah, there we go. Or is that the same flare? I don't even know. No, I threw a different flare to kind of distract the zombies. And just get through the area. Don't even worry about trying to take them all out. If you see the gate open, just run for the gate. So I got really lucky right here, and it was a pretty simple ending sequence. I only had to use 1 turn and 2 flares, or 1 flare or something like that. And yeah, just get through. So that's definitely the hardest level. If you get through there, you should be good for round 9.